Okay, we just got done seeing Bumblebee, which is a Transformers film. I think I've only seen one other Transformers film. It was a while back. Same people though, Michael Bay, right?
He produced this. I don't think he directed this. Now I think this is a prequel, is it not?
It must be.
Yeah.
I think it is because, yeah, it has to be because the story's taking place in the 80s.
Yeah, 1987.
Right, when around the time when the Transformers actually came out, which I think is a good idea to the source material. I enjoyed it. I
think it was actually a fun, pretty fun movie. Really good. The visuals were really good, and actually, like I said, there was some epic badass robot fights in it. But it was mostly concerned about about B coming to Earth and losing his memory and getting all messed up and broken, and he lost his voice and couldn't talk anymore.
Kind of a tragic hero.
Yeah, and his developing relationship with the girl, Charlie Watson, who fixes him and befriends him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was a very, I thought it was cool that they said it in 87, right when the Transformers cartoons came out.
Right.
Pretty much a nonstop cavalcade of rad 80s tunage.
Yeah, and a lot of the Smiths.
Got some good Smiths shit in there.
Duran Duran.
Got some good Duran Duran in there. Got some Howard Jones. Got some Tears for Fears.
There were a lot of X Generation Easter eggs in that. If you're X Generation coming up in that generation, you're right there with it.
Yeah, several homages to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Just lots of 80s
stuff. That was the only thing I can say about this movie that sometimes kind of what threw me out of it is that it got kind of teenage drama, sappy in a couple times.
Slightly.
And it kind of slowed it down, I thought. But the main storyline is the invasion of Earth by these Decepticons, and the Autobots are trying to set up a temporary base because they got kicked out of what was it called, Megatron, Cybertron. So the main story sometimes kind of gets gets kind of set to the side, so they go to a little bit more of teenage drama. But the movie's doing that on purpose. It knows it's doing it. They're showing you Easter eggs of the Breakfast Club as it's doing it.
And honestly, this reminded me it's structured very much like an 80s teen action type movie where you're a teen movie with monsters in it.
Yeah.
It had very much that feeling, and I think Steven Spielberg was actually one of the executive producers on this. So.
And it feels like a Spielberg.
Yeah, you can see his fingerprints all over it. It's the way it's structured and stuff. Yeah.
And the tone and everything. So the movie did do what it was designed to do. I enjoyed it.
It is, yeah. It's actually really enjoyable. It's very lighthearted.
Feel good movie.
Yeah, it's there's bad shit happens, and there's I said, there's big robot
make it through.
And stuff, but
a lot of heroism in it. It's kind of good values, I guess you could say, come through the movie. There's nothing in there for subversive or anything to make you feel bad. In terms of what I mean, hey, that's not right. Things are rectified. It is a good flick.
And like I said, I liked a lot of the T-shirts that the girl was wearing. She had a cool Smiths one. She had a cool Damned one. She had a nice Elvis Costello.
That's what I was saying.
Like I said, very very Gen X.
Gen X Easter eggs are all.
People our age are hey, there's that thing, and hey, there's that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those old dark '80s houses. I forgot how dark those houses were.
I know.
Compared to a modern house.
All those couches and dishes look so familiar.
Yeah. But. I don't know. I hate to compare movies. It's up there with Aquaman, but I think I liked Aquaman a little bit better.
It's kind of this. I don't know. It's
a different kind of movie.
It's different. I don't even know if I could compare them.
Right.
Really. I don't know.
It was fucking epic. And I tell you what, the voice acting for Optimus Prime, that sounded like the guy who did the original voice, but I thought he was dead.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember who that is.
That sounds
I thought
like
he was dead too. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, whoever did that voice.
One thing that I liked about this was that like I said, haven't seen any of the kind of big Michael Bay Transformers movies. From what I remember of the one that I did see, it seemed very I don't know, like slick and video game-ish. This one really doesn't look like that.
Right.
Even the robot fights and a lot of the robot fights like and transformations like take place like just in the middle of the day, like in a street or something like that. And it looks really realistic. Like a lot of the robots, like they kind of look beat up and dirty.
Yeah.
And you know, they actually look like they're there. It doesn't look like
I think I saw
cartoon.
either the first or the second of the
I can't
Transformers
remember which one, because
and to me it was just kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
It kind of lacked character, but no, this one, like I said, you know, I thought it was good.
Because it was more a character based than just like a big visual epic. I mean, it had like big visual epic things in it, but it actually like had a lot of character.
I'm interested to see.
It was a character-driven story.
I'm interested to see where it will go.
Yeah.
You know, if another one comes out, then I'll watch that too.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. Okay, we just got done seeing Mary Poppins Returns, which is like the second part of the old Mary Poppins one. When did that come out? Like the 60s, I think?
Late 60s, early 70s.
Late 60s, early 70s.
I can't remember now.
It's been so long.
Maybe earlier.
I've seen it, but
I've seen it a bunch of times, but I haven't seen it for a long time.
Yeah, I would. This is actually very much in line with the traditional Disney type movie.
Yeah,
I liked it. It's almost kind of like a throwback movie. This movie they seem to be trying to prove to some of the naysayers that they can do what they used to do. It feels like a classic Disney movie, but they've really kind of upgraded the effects and everything that they can do, because a lot of weird stuff happens in the movie. Like they jump down into a bathtub and they're in this weird undersea world. You know, it's happening in the 1920s in London, so it's a period piece too. Another time they jump into the painting on the outside of a china bowl. I really liked that number.
That was a really cool sequence. That whole part of that story was actually my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about this, like I said, it's very much. I remember quite a bit about the original Disney Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews. This is very much the same tone. It's even had a lot of the same look to it.
Yeah.
Even the animation, because there are some animated sequences, like I said, when they went into the China Bowl and the whole world went animated, it looked just like the old school Disney animation from that era. You know what I mean? It actually kind of reminded me a little bit when it got a little bit scary. That part, it reminded me of the old Disney Sleepy Hollow, like Ichabod Crane. It looked very much like that kind of thing with the chase and the fire and everything like that. The songs were all really good. I really liked Ben Whishaw, who was obviously in the new James Bond, the Daniel Craig James Bond. He's the new Q. I mean, he plays Q in the new James Bond movies. So he was in this playing like Michael Banks, who was the kid in the first. He's grown up now, so it's grown up him and the sister.
Yeah. And
then there's their kids, and there's some cameos in there. Yeah. One from like the original Mary Poppins movie, and there's also some. There's a lot of Dick Van Dyke was in it at the end.
Oh, okay, that's who that was?
Yeah, it was Dick Van Dyke. That's why everybody went, hey.
Okay,
yeah, it was Dick Van Dyke. Angela Lansbury.
I didn't know the guy was still alive.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
And he's still like moving around and kind of dancing and stuff. I was like, whoa, look at him go. Yeah. But and there was a lot of cool like British theatrical actors. Like Julie Walters was in this playing the housekeeper, like the bank's housekeeper. She was really good, very caustic, which that's usually the kind of role she plays. But I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Like I said, it's a very, very traditional. So pretty much just like a stage musical. Yeah,
it's like watching a Broadway show.
Right, except with animation.
Like the big quality of performances was really good. The crowd seemed to enjoy it. Some of the humor really wasn't there for me, but
But it wasn't a comedy, really. Yeah. I mean, it's more just like a fantasy. There was most of the comedy was just like, it's just
the guy next to me.
Witty than
we had some jackal next to us. He just kept laughing over every little thing, and I'm like, dude, man, you're 65. What are you fucking laughing at? That's just not funny.
You can't go to movies.
You can't.
Like people complain about people taking kids to movies.
Old people are worse.
Old people are way worse. Yeah. Kids are quieter than old people.
Yeah,
I hate to say.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I'll tell you what, it was a whole hell of a lot better than the Nutcracker.
I liked it much better
Yeah,
than
the Nutcracker, I don't know what the hell that disaster was. What it was is that Disney tends to usually have a pretty good ability to culturally appropriate British and German stories. Not so much Russian. That thing didn't. That Nutcracker story didn't feel Russian at all.
Well, the thing is, I felt like it had too much. I think, and we kind of already reviewed that, but I kind of felt like because it's a ballet, I think it works better as that rather than like trying to glom the story onto it. That
robots and
which
weird shit.
You know, it could have worked, but it's just like I said, it looked cool. It just didn't. But this one, like I said, very traditional. Very much like the original. So if you like the original, I don't see any reason why.
And it's partly made in England. It had a bunch of British actors in it too. So you know what I mean. It's
I think that most of them were British.
It's British enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disney's gonna steal your shit and they're gonna tell you what your stories are gonna be.
Well,
yeah, this is your.
But like I said, they've
been doing that. That was Walt Disney's gag going all the way back. You know.
Well, they had a lot of success with fairy tales.
Yeah.
And other like British stories, like I said, the Winnie the Pooh stories and stuff like that. Also
they're
British.
Insidious, man. They take your culture. All right, we gotta go.
All right.
Okay, Jenny and I are here late at AMC. We just got done seeing Mortal Engines. They had a 10 o'clock showing because that was all they're showing. Now they're probably going to take it out of here soon, I guess. So it's like midnight, kind of dead. Anyway, Mortal Engines is a futuristic, post-apocalyptic science fiction adventure flick. Isn't that what you call it? It's an adventure action flick.
Based on the best-selling book by Philip Reed, I believe is the guy that wrote it.
Yeah, and it's in a future 1,100 years from now where cities are big, basically rolling tanks on treads.
Yeah.
And they run around a pretty lush landscape, actually, when you looked at it, attacking and scavenging off of one another.
Not all cities were like
not
that.
all of them did.
Some of them were stationary, just like cities that we know today.
They had all different kinds of cities. They had balloon cities, kind of like Bespin City, with all these little balloon ships and everything. They had some of them that walked across the ocean or through the ocean. Remember that one?
Yeah, there was a seafaring one. They only showed one of those.
And you know, it has kind of a steampunk look to it, I would say.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Wars was kind of like a retro-futuristic 1930s, this is like a retro-futuristic 1800s. But they do have, you know, computers, and they're trying to revive this quantum technology that they found, and there's this big
world that blew up the world 1,000 years before the events of the movie.
Yeah. I had low expectations for the movie, but it was pretty good.
It actually was pretty good. It had like a lot of the same beats. I haven't read the book, so I'm not sure how good an adaptation of the book it is. But I mean, you can tell that the book probably went into like a shit ton more detail. But I mean, Peter Jackson directed this, and the look of it is really, really nice. You can tell he like really went all out, like trying to get this world as detailed as possible with all the world building and stuff like that.
There was a lot of Star Wars influence in it.
I was just gonna say the story beats of Star, but that's probably from the novel. So not
they had a steampunk General Grievous. They had a.
This is pretty much like steampunk Star Wars.
There was a Darth Vader, "I'm your father" trope in it. I would say probably one of the differences, though, is that it's a female-driven story. Luke Skywalker is a girl in this one, and Princess Leia is a boy. Didn't you notice that?
Yeah, it was kind of like a slightly gender swap version.
Yeah.
But I did notice that it did have a lot. But like I said, that's probably from the novel.
He was the helpless female. He was the helpless female.
No, he got his shit together at the end.
Yeah, that's true. Although what was funny is that Princess Leia wasn't the helpless female. She kicked ass from the fucking very beginning.
Well, yeah. She didn't take any shit from anybody.
But, yeah. Other than that, it was a decent movie.
It was actually pretty decent. Yeah, I I wasn't expecting one thing or the other. Like I said, I don't like to read reviews of things before. I hadn't really heard much about this.
Me neither. All you hear about is Aquaman. So
I wasn't really sure how it was going to be, and I haven't read the book, so I mean, I knew the premise of the story, but I hadn't really know what it was going to be like.
And this one only opened up maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? And it looks like it's on the way out of the theater.
Maybe
already.
It was a month ago. It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I expected it to be bad, but it was. No, they showed you some stuff that you'd never seen before.
And it was actually like pretty fast paced. It pretty much kept on the run.
There was a couple places where it got kind of sappy and a little bit over emotional for me, but it wasn't too bad.
But really, that was only like a minute or two every now and then. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of conversation really. It's like there was some expositionary stuff, but it mostly like kept moving from one action sequence to another action
and it's
sequence.
not really sure the way this ended if things were actually resolved, so there's probably I could tell this was written to be a series.
Well, I'm not sure if the book is a standalone or if it's part of a series. I had the impression it was part of a series, but I could be thinking of another series.
The way this ended, I'm under the impression that this is going to be a series.
I kind of feel like it probably will, I mean, I feel like it did resolve satisfactorily, but it left it open in
if
case
certain people were dead or not.
Like, you know what I mean? But it left it open enough that they could make more if they wanted to. But like I said, I'm not real familiar with the book series. So,
it was pretty good.
So it was much better than I was expecting. And it's, like I said, it looked super cool.
Sure as a hell a lot better than Robin Hood, wasn't it? Remember how bad Robin Hood was?
I thought that a couple times.
Yeah.
It's like Robin Hood wasn't terrible.
Robin Hood was terrible. I thought it was terrible.
It just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't grab me. It was just kind of like, all right, whatever.
It wasn't as good as Aquaman, but it wasn't bad. It was good.
Yeah, it was actually
one of the
good.
better movies of this month, probably.
Probably. I'd probably say.
I heard something blew up over there. That movie's blowing up over there. We got to get out of here. Yeah, the movie's blowing up.
I know, they're going to lock us in a minute.
I know.